The story begins in 1914. Ernest Shackleton's goal was to cross the continent of Antarctica on foot from one end to the other. He selected an excellent crew of 28 men. When they set out, World War I had already begun, but they were given permission to move forward. Their ship, Endurance, sailed from South Georgia Island toward Antarctica. As soon as they neared Antarctica, they encountered far more ice than expected in the Weddell Sea. In January 1915, their ship became completely trapped between thick layers of ice. They were only 60 miles away from land, but the ice had crushed in on them from all sides. The crew spent several months inside the ship, hoping that the ice would melt when warmer weather arrived. But fate had something else planned. Instead of melting, the ice grew even stronger and began to crush the ship. In October 1915, the pressure of the ice became so intense that the ship's wooden structure began to break. Shackleton ordered everyone to abandon the ship. They set up camp on the ice, carrying with them 3 small boats and a limited amount of rations. In November 1915, they watched with their own eyes as their ship sank into the ocean. Now they were completely cut off from the world. No radio and no means of rescue. The crew spent months living on a massive slab of ice. When food began to run out, they were forced to kill their loyal dogs and eat raw seal meat. The biggest challenge was drinking water, because the ice around them was salty. To melt the ice, they held it close to their bodies to use their body heat. Their ice camp slowly began to shrink as it melted. Because of this, they were forced to take their 3 small boats and head into the open sea. After battling freezing temperatures and massive waves for several days, they reached Elephant Island. It was a desolate place where no humans lived. After 497 days, they finally set foot on solid ground. But staying there meant slowly waiting for death, because there was no hope of rescue from that location. Shackleton made a bold decision. He set out with 5 of the strongest men in a small boat called James Caird toward South Georgia Island, which was 1,300 kilometers away. The route passed through the Drake Passage, considered the most dangerous sea route in the world. For 17 days, they faced 60 to 70-foot-high waves and freezing winds. Miraculously, they managed to reach South Georgia Island alive. After reaching South Georgia, they realized they were on the wrong side of the island. To reach the whaling station, where people lived, they had to cross tall, snow-covered mountains. Shackleton and 2 of his companions walked continuously for 36 hours without any trekking gear. In doing so, they became the first people in history to cross those mountains. When they reached the whaling station, the people there were shocked, because the world had already assumed them dead. Shackleton immediately arranged for a ship and set out to rescue his remaining 22 men trapped on Elephant Island. 3 times the ice blocked their path, but on the 4th attempt, they finally succeeded. When Shackleton reached Elephant Island, he found that not a single one of his men had died. All 28 men returned home alive. Shackleton's leadership and his refusal to ever give up turned a failed mission into one of the greatest victories in human history. In 2022, his ship Endurance was discovered at a depth of 10,000 feet beneath the ocean. Even today, it remains almost exactly the same as it was more than 100 years ago. Friends, the story of Ernest Shackleton does not teach us only about survival, but it also teaches us that a true leader is someone who does not let go of hope even in the most difficult times. Shackleton failed in his objective. He could not cross Antarctica on foot. But he achieved something that no one in history had done before, bringing every single one of his companions back alive from the jaws of death. That is why it is said, "For scientific discovery give me Scott, for speed and efficiency Amundsen, but when disaster strikes and all hope is gone, get down on your knees and pray for Shackleton." In life too, whenever you feel that all paths are closed, remember that with courage and the right leadership, even the impossible can be made possible. If you like this survival story, do like the video and tell us in the comments which other historical events you would like to know about. We'll meet again in the next video. Until then, bye and take care.